My 2023 GMC Canyon came with a 7,700 pound towing capacity, but it didn't come with a receiver. In a previous video, we installed the receiver hitch and the wiring plug here out the back of the bumper. Even with those two things, this truck is not ready to tow anywhere near its capability, and that's what the purpose of this video is today. One of the goals I had for my Canyon was to potentially one day tow my Cybertruck from Wish. Now, I'm totally kidding. This is my 2004 Chevy Colorado with 40s that I have named the Badlander. By the end of this video, this Canyon, with a couple little modifications, is going to be able to safely tow the Badlander. I hope when it's done, it'll be under 6,000 pounds, which is a big ask. But if we do 6,000 pounds and the trailer weight, we'll see if this Canyon will be under the 7,700 pounds and do it safely. In 2023, I bought 4 vehicles: the red shop truck, the white extended cab here, my wife's daily Trailblazer, and the 23 Canyon. In 2024, I told myself I was only buying one thing, and that was a car trailer for my birthday. But there was a catch. When I bought the trailer, it only had one axle, and that was even needed to be replaced. Fenders were gone. The decking had about 7 layers of particle board. We turned it into a pretty killer little car trailer. Now I've got properly rated axles, a brand new deck, a winch, spare tire, battery, lights, all the things you need to tow minis back to the mechanic, because obviously that's the only place where they belong. Today we are towing my buddy's Mini down to the mechanic. This thing will be the second time to the mechanic. I think it's driven all of 200 miles since purchase. So, don't buy a Mini. The trailer as it sits is about 5,000 pounds with the car on it right now. And the Canyon does all right, but it's got some issues with doing so, and I want to show you guys those before we hook it up to the Badlander and put a whole bunch more weight on the back end of this truck. Alright, let's see how we did. Nailed it. If you guys want to get your own mini hitch receiver cover, I've got a link in the description to the website. Now, we've got the mini balance on the trailer pretty well, but it causes the truck to sag quite a bit. It's probably due to the fact that I put 1,200 pounds of motors for about close to 1,000 miles in the bed of the truck and then subsequently went off-road. I'll put a link to that video in the corner here. The tongue weight causes this truck to sag quite a bit, and we were driving home with this car last week from the mechanic. I was getting flashed with everybody's high beams because my headlights were way high in the air. So let me show you guys how much this sags, and then that is one of the things that we'll be rectifying with the mods later in the video. If you didn't have the trailer weighted properly or balanced properly, you could sag this truck way lower, and even that amount of squat is too much for this load. So we need to put airbags on the rear leaves. So one of the issues I have with the truck and it being able to tow safely is the mirrors. The stock mirrors are just not wide enough for what you would really need for towing a trailer such as this. The car is only slightly skinnier than the truck, so I need to have fenders and tires and everything outside of that. So I can see it in the bottom of my mirrors here, but I can't see around them. I definitely need some wider mirrors on the truck. Got a pretty heavy wind coming out of the west here. Got my steering wheel cockeyed a little bit, but we're doing the speed limit. We're doing anywhere from 7.5 to 11 miles a gallon going into the wind, pulling a little trailer here, so not entirely terrible for a little turbo 4-banger. For those of you taking notes at home, we have the airbags to take the load, 2, the trailer mirrors to actually see the trailer, and the third one, brakes. This truck did not come with a brake controller, and therefore I don't have any way to stop the brakes on the trailer. If you got the trailering package optioned in your truck, you've got the little app, trailer profile app, and the integrated little button down here on the lower dash portion, you will have a pre-wired brake controller for your trailer. Now if you don't, I'm going to show you guys how to wire one up, and I've got one that I'm testing that's Bluetooth trailer brakes. Oh man, we made it. That was one heck of a trip. So let me get this Mini unloaded and we're gonna go back home, and I've got a couple parts coming in the next day or two, so it's gonna be a minute before I get back to this video, but for you guys it's gonna be about 10 seconds. I lied, it was only about 2 seconds, but for me it was about 2 months, because life's been pretty hectic with a new baby and all. So let's show you guys the airbags that I picked up. Jumped on Amazon and I found a used, air quotes, used airbag kit for the previous generation Canyons and Colorados. Well, took a gamble on it, and it's completely unused. So just goes to show that if you guys want to track down kit number 59533, you guys might have the luck of tracking a used one down. Somebody screwed one of the bags on and that was it. So thank you to whoever returned this to Amazon. I got a killer deal on this, and now it's gonna go on my truck. All right, step one, tire off. Oops. Step two is bag prep. And they say 1.5 turns past, finger tight. 1.5. Perfect. The right bracket has a hole here and the left bracket has a hole here. This bag is a little bit offset of the leaf springs, so you need to make sure that this is where it expects to be. Now we have our bag assembly. Let's go put it on the leaf pack. So we put our bag in here and it hooks over the leaf spring. No bracket, washer, and some nuts. Looks like we got 4 or 5 threads sticking out from the top of the nut there. That's about what I expected from the other side. I've got the truck suspended on its own weight under the axle here. Yes, I'm working without a jack stand. We're gonna get this bracket here perpendicular to the plate. So we wanna have it right there, and we'll center punch that and drill that out to 5/16. 14 mil. I drilled the bottom left corner here, the rear bottom corner, just because it's farther away from the edge of the tube as some of the other ones, so I figured that'd have the best chance of strength. Now we get to move on to airline install. I've got an idea to put a little tiny hole right here because it's all plastic from like right here and down, so I can hide these little Schrader valves right here on both sides and not have any issues with drilling through metal. So worst can happen is drill another hole in my bumper. Same 5/16 drill bit from earlier, and it fits these airlines just perfectly. Just guessing here, but we'll go, I don't know, that long. Cut it right there. Get this cut off with just a little bit extra slack and hook it up. And that quick connect fitting. Done. There you go. Install's done. Let's put some air in the bags and see what the truck does. That's 100 pounds of shop air. Air it out. Not quite all the way. They're supposed to have about 5 pounds of air in them at all times. Just kind of helps the bag stay inflated when you droop out. Let's go. Let's go all the way up. Next on the list, tow mirrors. I got 2 different flavors for you guys that will suit pretty much anybody's budget. On the more budget side of things, we've got these guys. These were about the cheapest option that I could find that seemed to be of decent quality here. I figured if you guys are kind of like me and you want the ability to have the tow mirrors on your truck but don't want to have them on constantly, well, a budget-friendly idea, a budget-friendly option would be these tow mirrors. I hope this mirror is a little bit more steady than my tripod setup right now, but essentially these will clip onto or kind of index onto the mirror here, and you just adjust these straps here to match. Lengthen this little silicone strap here. Once you guys get these straps kind of lined up and set up, you don't ever have to do it again. But oh dude, that's freaking money. This one's gonna be a little longer. Clip. That one actually could be a little bit tighter, but now you've got this nice little mirror here that's temporary. How about that? Check that out. So that's pretty much a view from where I'm sitting, and I've got my mirror going here. I could see the kind of left side of the little 5-cylinder motor there. You can see now that I've got this guy set up just a little bit wider than that. Perfect. Now the biggest gripe that I noticed with the Amazon reviews of pretty much all of this style is they vibrate a little bit, and being a temporary mirror, I don't think there's any way to get around that. So that's just something to be mindful of, and hopefully it's not too bad when we drive down the road with this thing. And you guys are getting spoiled. This is the third wardrobe change in this video. The astute among us will recognize this brand, and that is Boost Auto. Now they are not officially sponsoring this video, but they did sponsor a part that is going to go on my truck here in just a minute. I was super on the fence of buying these myself, and I'll tell you the one biggest reason why I haven't pulled the trigger yet. 360 cameras. They do not support the 360 camera, and that's been the biggest hesitation that I've had to purchase them myself. Now Boost Auto did reach out to me and say, hey, would you like to review our tow mirrors? So I spec'd these ones out, and they sent these to me a while back, and we're going to put them on the truck now and compare them between the temporary ones and the not so temporary ones. Now these are their fancier mirrors with smoked switchback, reverse lights, all the fancy stuff, but they do have mirrors that are really similar in this form factor, and they're considerably cheaper. Don't think that you got to go spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on these tow mirrors. You can actually get tow mirrors that are relatively inexpensive. Now I'm not going to bore you guys with a full install of these mirrors. Boost Auto has a killer install video on their website, and it shows you how to hook them up, how to wire them, all the things. I will have a video coming soon, I hope, how to adapt the 360 cameras to this style. We already had somebody work their magic with some JB Weld and got the cameras to work in their Series 1 mirrors, but these are the Series 2, and I'm hoping that I can either 3D print or make some sort of non-destructive mounting system for the 360 cameras for my truck and your truck as well. A little tray out, 2 7s down here and 2 7mm down here. Very forcefully and very carefully. GM is very proud of those clips, I'll tell you what. You guys remember back on my fender liner, my fender light video. Door panel's off. Pull this guy off here. Get this clip out the way here. 3 10mm. Just gently pull and stock mirror comes right out. Boost Auto mirrors, they're significantly heavier. Pro tip, have a bolt in your hand. Make sure you put the additional harness through the glass. And tighten them up. This harness here is for the side lights and the signal. And deep breath. Got it. Alright, need you to breathe out. A little pop here. Alright, we're gonna have a little bit of tension here. Alright, relax. Got it. So we got our clip-on tow mirror, temporary, and our Boost Auto tow mirrors. Dang, those look good. I really like those tow mirrors. They're massive. They are freaking massive, but those tow mirrors are awesome. Before we do our next modification, I need to turn the truck around so I can get a better view for you guys installing the brake controller. truck looks pretty funky with mismatched mirrors. Now, it's my understanding that you can actually get the lower dash cover and you can get the GM factory brake controller, but for the price of what these aftermarket brake controllers cost, you can hide them pretty much anywhere and they won't get in the way, and they're significantly cheaper than the GM ones, and they're just about as easy to install. So let's go onto the dash here and I'll show you guys how to install a brake controller if your truck didn't come with one. Year and a half of these AAA liners. Love them. How much junk I've got inside it just from the last little snow trip we did. Holy cow. More like a mudding trip. Kick panel here off. I'll probably break them in two like I did the other side when I was doing my dash cam install. Hey, I didn't break it. How about that? Yeah. Be careful to break these off. Just get it all attached and then pull it straight out. And GM was very kind to supply us with some wires here. You have a 3rd gen Colorado or Canyon. These wires are pre-wired right here, ready to go. And all we gotta do is splice them into the brake controller. So once we get these wires wrapped up, we're gonna have a lone wire that's kind of on a different loom. That in this case is a green and red wire. That's our power. We're gonna have a blue wire with no stripes, just a solid blue wire. That is our brake output. That is coming out of the controller. We've got a white wire with a blue stripe in my case. That is our brake signal, and a white, solid white wire, which is our ground. So I'm going to do a bunch of spade terminals real quick and clip those in. We're actually gonna clip this guy off of here and put some female or male spade terminals on here, and that way we'll have this somewhat removable if we ever need it to be that way, or if I ever want to extend this harness. But let me get these cut off and put the terminals on, and we'll hook this up here in a minute. Alright, on this specific brake controller, the black is the power, red is the stop brake light in, the white is the vehicle ground, and the blue is the trailer brakes out. So let's get it wired up in that schematic there. Alright, got everything connected up according to the truck and according to the instructions here. And now with these terminals, I can extend this or move this panel around wherever I want to. For now, I'm just going to mount the controller right here. It's nice and close, and there's already a provided screw to hold the dash, so that's a cool little 7mm right there. And it kind of seems like it's out of the way enough that I can get my shoes and my boots in here without kicking it, hopefully. I mean, it doesn't look factory, but I don't hate it. Alright, let's see if I kick this thing getting into the truck. Not too bad. Yeah, I probably won't kick it too much. That doesn't seem to be too far in the way. I did make it so that the wires, I can move it somewhere else, you know, somewhere else here in the cab. But for now, I don't hate where it's at. Now, if you don't want something unsightly and you don't have to deal with wiring the new controller in, I've got a solution for you. It's a little bit more expensive than the wired version, but this one's Bluetooth. So let's back the truck up to the trailer and I'll show you guys the Bluetooth trailer brake controller. Alright, here we go. Hope you guys can see that little toe me there just barely jiggling. You have to comment below and let me know if I did better with the other hitch. But not my best work. Watch how much this truck sags here just with a shop truck on it. That's saggy. Got a storm coming in the next day or two, and I hope this audio comes through because it's a little bit breezy right now. But well, the audio didn't. This is a Kurt Echo wireless brake controller. Essentially, it plugs into your truck. You do not need a brake controller in the truck. It Bluetooths to your phone, and you can make changes on the fly to the gain and power of the brake sensitivity. You just leave it with the trailer. You don't need your tow vehicle to have a brake controller whatsoever. You guys can see just how much the back end of the truck is now squatted with the shop truck and the trailer all hooked up. So let's air up the bags that we just installed and see how it looks. If you guys have been watching the channel for any length of time, you'll know that I have a very successful video on this maxi track compressor, and I've got it wired up to an Anderson plug here in the back of my bed. Ooh, that's 40. That's 75 pounds. £70. That actually brought the truck up quite a bit. How about that? We'll get the Badlander on the trailer at some point at a later date, but I'm just going to run around the neighborhood really quick and see how the truck feels with the new bags and the new brakes. I hope this conveys on camera, but the stock mirror obviously is, you know, I could see around the truck. The shop truck's not too wide, but look how wide this mirror is. So much better. You can see the two fenders on the truck there. That mirror is so much wider. It does jiggle a little bit, but I haven't started driving very far. I literally just straightened the trailer out. I don't have the tow mirrors folded out at all, or pulled out at all, but that's my view right now. I see a little bit of the truck and a lot wider of the side. Also, what's nice is the blind spot or lower half of the mirror there is also looking at my rear tire, and if I adjusted that up a little bit, I could see the trailer tires really well too. I definitely don't feel like the truck is leaning back quite as much. It's rather quite comfortable, and the rear seems pretty solid. It doesn't seem all squishy and sagged out like it was back when I was towing Justin's Tacoma recently. Let's take a spin around the neighborhood and see how this thing feels. Body roll is significantly reduced, I'll tell you that much. Back of the truck doesn't seem squishy or boaty, just seems really smooth. And mirrors, both of them kind of jug a little bit. The Boost Auto mirrors are pretty heavy, and so I'm sure that contributes to them bouncing around a little bit. But obviously the little clip-on tow mirrors were never intended on being very sturdy. But if you don't want to have mirrors on your truck 24/7 or spend the money that these Boost Auto mirrors cost, they're significantly cheaper to buy the clip-ons, but they're a pretty solid option. They don't seem like they're gonna fall off. Obviously I haven't gone much more than 15 miles an hour with them, but I don't mind the clip-on mirrors at all myself. I know what you guys are asking. Kevin, how many times are you gonna walk out that freaking door in one video? About as many as it takes to get this video done. This is my biggest and most thorough video to date. I'm trying to, one, make my truck capable of towing, but I'm sure you guys are also curious on what it takes to tow with your new Canyon or Colorado safely. Double ditch pods with the hood struts, relay mount. If you guys want to support me making videos like this, you guys can continue to watch and click the ads and do all that stuff, but I'd rather you guys get something out of it. So if you guys would, check out the website and grab some of these products to help you use your trucks in the way that you want to instead of the way that GM wants you to. My little relay bracket, way cheaper option to do than the way GM designed their silly little relay bracket system. The dual ditch pods are way better than anything on the aftermarket right now, and they work with the hood struts. They don't destroy the cowls. There's two lights on each side. Pretty cool products that I make for these trucks, and I'd love to help you guys get the most out of your trucks. So if you would, jump over to the website, badlineindustries.com, and buy a couple things. Now we're finally on to the bonus modification. Now this one doesn't actually affect how the truck tows, but it is a part of the trailering package that came on these trucks from the factory. And to my knowledge, including myself, nobody's ever done this modification to the new Canyons and Colorados. So This kind of is a world first. Being that my AT4 did not come with the trailering package, I got the 170 amp alternator like a lot of you did. Now, I have a car trailer now, you guys saw, and that has a battery inside the tongue box so that I can power the winch to be able to pull, I don't know, dead Colorados onto the deck. This 50 amp bigger alternator is going to help us know that we're able to charge the truck's accessories and whatnot, as well as the trailer we're towing, a little bit more confidently. Probably a good idea if we disconnect the battery for this. Also, if this works, this is going to be a killer little upgrade, because the price of this alternator versus the 170 is actually really close, and I'm kind of impressed that they're so close in price. You got this screw undone, the cover, the 210s, the screw down there, the pipe here, there, and the pipe here. This thing should walk right out of here. I've only taken this thing apart like 15 times, it seems. Why is there so much mud? Holy crap. It looks like to me the turbo piping, the inlet piping needs to come off. The serpentine obviously needs to come off. And we'll have some other plugs for power from the battery and the regulator plug here to take off. And then it looks like it's just 2 bolts here to yank that thing out of there. There it goes. Get under the truck there and pull the bottom end of this off. There we go. Well, conveniently, I just lost a bunch of footage of me draining the catch can and sending it off to Blackstone. Really excited to see the results of that catch can. If you guys are too, you might want to subscribe to the channel so that when that video does go live, you'll know about it. Not as dirty as I was expecting, but still a lot of oil inside. So we'll get this all cleaned up and reinstall once we get everything pulled out for the alternator. This is the proper application for a torque wrench, right? Removing a serpentine belt. This 10 mil here is for this little bracket for the coolant pipe. Remember the one that we put a little $1 washer into, $1 O-ring into. So we got 13 and a 13, and obviously our power wire and our other wire for the regulator, our plug. Power wire to the alternator. The alt wire is 17 mil. Push out on this little red tab here. Boom. Oh, that's way lighter. Holy cow. I'll tell you guys what. There's a serious size difference between these two alternators. Holy cow. Well, as I understand it, the assembly is the reverse of disassembly, so let's get this all put in here. Click. Top one's in. Cool. This is not a stock intake, and I'm going to be testing this for a little while to see if a 3D printed intake will work in my truck. Wish me luck. Got the fresh air PCV side. Need to get some worm clamps before I drive this thing, but otherwise everything's clipped in. Well, there you go. 220 amp alternator installed, as well as custom 3D printed cold air intake, resonator delete type thing. There we go. Time has finally come to move the Badlander onto the trailer because we've done all the mods that we need to get this Canyon ready to tow. So this totally isn't sketchy at all. The truck has no brakes. It's got very incomplete suspension, and we'll just see how it goes. For context, this is the first time, or the farthest it's moved in about 7.5 years. So,
hey, the brake pedal doesn't work.
No, the brake pedal doesn't work at all. The steering barely works, okay? Wish us luck. All right, just turn passenger when we start moving.
Turn 40s by hand.
Bye. Come driver.
Hey, you're rubbing a little.
Yeah, that's just the control arm, no worries. It's not in my driveway. Holy crap, that's big. I don't think you quite understand.
I mean, it's as tall as me.
Thing is, I haven't seen it from this angle in beyond like 10 feet in years. That was phase one. It's big. We're gonna pull it backwards and then we're gonna pull it over to the trailer and get it set up to load up. Oh my gosh.
I'll be honest, it looks a lot bigger on the road.
It looks a lot bigger with nothing around it.
I've seen this thing for years in your yard and it looks way bigger out here.
It looks way bigger. This is aired down a little bit. This is not as high as it possibly can go with the bags. I won't say ride height. It's probably about 4 or 5 inches higher than ride height.
In the front.
In the front. The back's pretty much kind of a little low because where it's at is basically only 2 or 3 inches to the bed. So the back's gonna come up an inch or two. The front's go down an inch or 2 or 3 or 4 maybe. And that's gonna be what it is. This is eye level. The hood right now is at eye level. So we're gonna pull it up next to the white truck and show you guys just how tall this thing is. That's the height the truck started out at. That's on 40s. Holy crap.
A little hop, skip, and jump. I'm trying to line up to this trailer I can't see.
Yeah, you lined that up great, but where are we gonna put the ramps?
We'll figure that out some other day.
And you ran over my rope.
Right?
Yeah.
I come back.
Dude, she fits good. Whew. How's that looking now? Ooh, that's all of that winch right there. Right there, right there, right there. Dude. Oh man.
It could come like a 1/4 inch driver.
Yeah,
it'd be perfectly centered.
Holy crap, dude. You could camp under it right now.
Yeah. Just build a hammock setup and fully
Build a hammock?
just sleep on it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Canyon's aired up and the Colorado's aired down.
So this with your truck on it, but it was squishy.
Oh, because you don't have back.
No.
It is not squishy. It feels solid.
Yeah. Well, you figure the only thing that's truly missing is the motor. That's 450 pounds. And whatever other crap I put in the bed.
You're missing some exterior beautification mods. And
Yeah, I mean there's, but I mean I'm.
It's probably 1,000 pounds worth of random stuff.
All the metal in the bed and stuff. Yeah. That's good.
That's good.
What do you think? Maybe 5,000 pounds?
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably around 5.
Pretty close to 5,000 pounds. Well, we don't have a motor. The headache rack and flatbed's not on the truck. We're thinking we're probably about 1,000 pounds short of what this truck really will weigh. Probably not quite that much because most everything's already there, but obviously the iron block 6 liters not, and a couple of things in the back, but we're pretty close in the weight. Only 7 years of crap washed off-ish, but we'll run around, run some errands, grab some lunch, and see how this canyon tows. Well, I've got the Kurt trailer brake app up, set it to 100% and 8, and honestly, doesn't feel too terrible. We're not going to go too fast or too far, but at least the truck feels actually pretty planted with the bags. Here's a great opportunity to test the trailer brakes of the Kurt. I'm not braking too hard, right? No, you kind of feel the trailer kind of pulling us just a little bit. All in all, the truck doesn't feel squishy, doesn't feel, other than like the weight back there, doesn't feel like we're bouncing around and whatnot. I can still see nice and low in front of the truck. I'm not looking at the sky. Obviously not driving at night. I can't tell you how high my headlights are. All things considered, for a couple $100 worth of temporary tow mirrors and hitch and the airbags.
The bags really changed it.
Because you've towed this trailer with your Celica and the 4Runner, and you know, and with the Tacoma, and you know that without bags, it's an entirely different feel.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we got the Kurt in here. We're just gonna pull this guy out. Justin can help me there, and we'll set this guy in here.
Straight.
Get in your hole. So now we're on the wired controller that we wired up just earlier in this video, and now we have actual brake pedal conditions to monitor the amount of brake pressure that's given to the trailer. So if I press the brake pedal, you guys will see that number change, and that is the amount of gain that controller is sending to our brakes on the trailer. So while the Kurt Bluetooth controller does work, it's nowhere near the same as having an actual wired-in brake controller. Like, I can feel that right now. We're just slowing down to a stop sign. But having the legitimate brake controller that is being controlled by your brake pedal position really helps dial in the trailer to make it as smooth and predictable as possible when towing something like this. But it's just not to where it's helping, so we're not completely leaning on the truck to stop the trailer. You can keep the Kurt Bluetooth with the trailer.
Yeah.
And if you need to lend it out to a family member or friend or whatever that probably doesn't have trailer brakes, now you've got at least a safer way to tow the vehicle. Even though I'm trying to film and show you guys at the same time, at least with these lower half of these mirrors here, I can see the trailer axles and the tires, and I can absolutely back up into my spot a heck of a lot easier now that I can see where my trailer tires are. So that was one unexpected advantage of having these mirrors for sure. Well, I do have to say that was a successful test drive with the Canyon. Pretty much fully loaded. We probably had another 1,000, 1,500 pounds of payload on the trailer capable for this Canyon. But all in all, I loved having the wider mirrors, both the temporary and the boost mirrors. I like the fact that the boost have that lower half there to see the actual trailer axles and wheels a little bit wider. That was really helpful backing into where the trailer lives right now. But the bags were the absolute biggest game changer of the entire thing. If you did nothing else, you slapped the receiver on the truck, you put some bags on it and started towing, you're gonna have a much better time pulling a heavy trailer anywhere near 7,700 pounds with some airbags, and those were only $200 or so they weren't very expensive. The Kurt trailer brake, Bluetooth trailer brake controller, I like it for the simple fact that if I need to borrow, somebody needs to borrow my trailer, well, they don't need to have trailer brakes, so, family member or whatnot. It does work, and it does, work okay, but it's not as good as having a wired-in brake controller like you guys saw us install here in the truck. So I think I'm going to try and find a better location for that, maybe extend the wires, because I put those terminals on there and maybe hide it a little bit better so that maybe when I'm not towing something, it's not sticking out under the dash and chafing up my shins. Canyon, towed the Colorado, the Badlander, and I think that's a win. Big thank you to Justin for helping me get the Badlander out for its maiden voyage. Officially, you are the first person to steer it. But someday, hopefully this year, the Badlander will drive, and I hope that you guys stick around to see that happen. I really want to get it done this year and hopefully hit Rubicon with a bunch of you guys in 2026. So you heard it here first. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for sticking around and watching all these videos. I genuinely appreciate every one of you guys watching these videos. We'll see you in the next one.